The idea of directional intent goes as follows. If we are to understand the strings as a horizontal plane, then the upward directional intent of free strokes means that the playing finger will reach the back part of its trajectory at a higher point than it began with respect to the horizontal plane. I will say that again and I will play it to demonstrate. The upward directional intent of the free stroke means that the playing finger will reach the back part of its trajectory at a higher point with respect to the horizontal plane from where it began. Here, higher than this. It could be lower or it could be even higher. But regardless, there's always a higher point where the finger ends the back portion of its trajectory from where it began. Now, conversely, a rest stroke will reach the back part of its trajectory at a lower point than it began with respect to the horizontal plane, as follows. Higher, then lower. We could have lower or not as low, however, every time the finger is lower. This now leads us to the collapsible joint rest stroke, which I will demonstrate as follows. Now, the idea behind the collapsible joint rest stroke goes as follows. By setting the finger in a slightly bent forward position, so the nail is facing downward, facing the soundboard, we apply the downward directional intent that a rest stroke ought to have. And what will happen is that because of something called string resistance, we gather friction force that disallows the finger from moving. Now, if the finger is relaxed enough at this joint, what will happen is that by necessity this joint will collapse. And when it collapses, suddenly the nail is facing upward in relation to the horizontal plane. And this reduces the friction caused by string resistance, thus allowing the finger to travel downward across the string, landing on the following string in this collapsed state. That's the reason it's called collapsible joint rest stroke, because the necessary requisite for it is allowing the collapsing of the joint as follows. Okay, now that I've demonstrated directional intention and the collapsible joint rest stroke, I will show you a way in which you can incorporate these ideas into practice.